Hey everyone, TimaeuSS here. Welcome to another Etheria restart video. Today we are going to talk about some SR characters you should be building, especially during this X2 event. That's right, you get double the return for your stamina, so this is the perfect time to farm a GP outpost to level up the skills, or even if you need some EXP farming, that's fine as well. Because yeah, some of these units in comparison to the SSR units are cheaper in terms of investment, as in take a look at the evolution lattice required. You're gonna have a lot more of these versus the perfect SSR evolution lattices. So let's talk about it. Well, first things first, okay, in this video I'll go over some of the key units I will be building as the SR characters that will be game changing for sure, and even show off some of the secret techs on a rare ranked unit. But let's start us off with the Catchy The Guard. So this meme has been going around, and I took a look at what's essentially making Catchy The Guard so damn good. And yes, I'll be building him as well, and taking a look at the S3, and this is what makes or breaks him. Okay, essentially applies this AoE buff to the entire team, and its defense up on top of an immunity, but you can trigger a critical success which extends the buff's duration by 1, which means this is a 2-turn immunity followed by a 3-turn defense buff on a 4-turn cooldown. So this is a really strong buff, okay? And because of how effect accuracy works in this game, you can stack some effect accuracy, and this is basically almost guaranteed a 2-turn immunity and a 4-turn defense buff, which is massive. All right, this is actually massive. Now the other 2 skills are decent as well. You've got a speed down, which is good in PvE, and then you've got crit rage, which is not so important. But this 4-turn defense buff as well as immunity is really nice. Stops a lot of the enemy skills that applies dots or debuffs to your team as well. And even Linglo is only a 1-turn immunity, right? So this 2-turn is quite significant. And not to mention, Catchy The Guard is going to be a dark unit, so it's going to be elemental neutral against pretty much everything. And yeah, you can bring him everywhere, and we'll showcase that as well. So looking at the shell, you'll see Catchy The Guard in a lot of the clears. For example, Sharon, you should see him with Didding, another SR character, and Valerian. And you don't have to use Lily here, but that obviously makes the pairing a lot more insane. I've seen Chiaki clears as well with Didding. But yeah, this is a really good team. And speaking of Didding or Diding, let's take a look at him as well. Now, I did reset him, and honestly, I regret it a bit. Okay, I definitely do regret it a bit. So I will be building him. And the good part about this is he's also a dark character, so you can bring him in pretty much a lot of the content shells. Even I see him some of the modules, not Infernal clears though. You can do it on Hell 4 for Termaton or Hell 4 on Aurora. But Didding is a fantastic single target burst damage dealer that just scales so well with gear, because even if you don't have the best gear, he has got you covered. He has a built-in crit rate boost on the S2 on the passive, and any extra crit rate gets converted into crit damage as well. So you don't need to worry about, you know, having too much crit or too little crit or crit damage. It will all get converted for you. And in terms of this multiplier on the S3, this is basically pre-nerf Victor damage, right? And working with, for example, Weifang or other skills, he is going to be able to do a ton. Not to mention vulnerable is also very nice because increases damage. This is a 30% damage taken increase, just absolutely insane of a boost. Yeah, super strong single target. You're gonna see him in a lot of the clears. We saw it in Sharon, and I believe he's also used in yeah, exactly, Rango Inferno as well. Look at this: Klaus, Didding, Valerian, and Linglo. And speaking of Valerian, yet another SR character that is really nice. And everyone, if you even spend $1, will have Valerian, another elemental neutral. Now, in terms of investment, okay, Catchy The Guard, we talked about S3 max ideally, and Didding all max 555, but Valerian S3 max. Okay, this essentially lets you to cast the Hazy Dream, which is the core component of her skill kit, right at the beginning, which allows a character to cheat death once. And she's sitting on the ball, and she will get off her ball and cast this every time you know, the cheat death procs. And this will be nice because the ult itself equalizes everyone's HP, and just make sure that everyone stays alive. It applies a shield as well as a passive effect, which yeah, this is super good. And the buff, the basic buff effect, either attack up, defense up, crit rate up, or speed up, is also very nice for the team. So she's gonna be able to allow your team to survive through a lot of the content. For example, I use her for Termaton, I use her for Infernal Doki Doki, allowing your team to go through waves of enemy burst damage, and surviving is super important. Not to mention the S2 is kind of nice as well, and when skilled up, this is a 3-turn cooldown. Alright, applies invincibility as well as heal over time on all allies. The invisibility is single target though, and if the target's HP is below 35%, the heal is going to be a 2-turn hot heal over time. So yeah, Valerian is a definitely strong character to build. Now these might already be quite familiar to you. The Kazu, the AoE Sleep S3 maxed for Doki Doki, everyone should know about. The Marvel, slightly nerfed in comparison because a lot of the bosses have resistance to turn meter push, but hey, still a very strong character and definitely S5 worthy for PvP. And sometimes I still use him for PvE stages like Nico Nana, right? So definitely not bad as well, Kazuo. And I do have a super invested Chiaki the Echo. Yes, I know this might sound weird, but this S2 and S3 max Chiaki the Echo is putting in a lot of work for GVE and also in some of the PvE content, because the amount of buff she gives and the amount of action bar manipulation. If she's on a gigabyte and she's getting a ton of turns, she's going to be pushing so many insane characters in terms of the turn order. So yeah, this is a really good build as well. I like Chiaki the Echo, and as promised, okay, last but certainly not least, I'm going to talk about actually 2 more characters SR. I'll just go through them very briefly. Viper going to be a very good Aurora unit, and also PvP, and the most important rarity R character that a lot of people have missed, but it is cropping up, it is showing up in Asia, and that is Vice. Now, what is the secret tech behind this character? Absolutely insane. Okay, if we take a look at the passive, each time Vice successfully inflicts a debuff on the enemy, heals 25% of max HP. Now, at max level, excess healing is transferred, and this also goes up. The heal goes up to 25% of his max HP, and excess healing is transferred to the ally with the lowest percentage. Now this has enabled the players on Asia to run some disgusting things. And remember, this is the micro lattice, which you can get purchased at the shop for very cheap. But this is super ridiculous because he built a semi-tanky Viper with Hio's Bramble, which is the counter attack. All right, and he is just gonna apply taunt with his S1. Okay, this is taunt, and it deals, it's HP scaling. Okay, so you can see that if you stack HP, he's gonna be, you know, doing small amounts of damage, not zero, but small amounts of damage. But the most important thing is that this taunt, this works with his passive, and he's just going to be uber healing. Not to mention that the taunt, of course, also makes it so that it skips a lot of the boss mechanics. So this, in conjunction with the S3 on a 3-turn cooldown, applying defense down, makes him one of the best tanks in the game. And he can heal. So a lot of the times when you see some of the PvE clears, Vice essentially will just be tanking the enemy boss, counterattacking, healing the enemy, healing himself, and then healing the rest of the team back to full. I'm going to be building him, alright, doing this X2 event. I will showcase him at 5-star once it's ready, and I think people are going to get blown away because we haven't seen much on the global server, but over at Asia, they are definitely running a lot of Vice. So yes, let me know thoughts on some of the SR units as well as the R character to build, because these are yeah, these are some game-changing units for sure. And while you don't have enough perfect lattices, we do have quite a bit of the purple ones to build these SR as well as R characters. Anyhow, let me know thoughts, and it's TimaeuSS here. Thank you so much once again for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. And goodbye now.